The 12th chapter of Two Blue Vortex recently dropped, and once again we got a fire chapter. Boruto doing his own version of the flying Raijin Rasengan was cool, and when he powered up his Rasengan Uzuhiko to nearly one-shot Hidari, that was peak. The Hidari fight itself was pretty good, and I actually believe that the fight reveals something to us that potentially upscales Jura in a way, and supports the theory that I brought up in the past about Jura being the physical embodiment of the Ten Tails that disappeared earlier in the story. So during the chapter, we see that Hidari has to use his claw marks to travel back to Kara's dimension to heal himself. At first glance, this might not seem like anything serious, but in the previous chapter, Jura compares his own healing to Himawari's healing, and says she can heal better than most Jinchuriki, and almost as good as Biju like him. So according to Jura, his healing should be far better than someone like Naruto's, and Naruto could heal himself from a Chidori going through it. So Jura has this super high level of healing, but it seems like Hidari can't really heal on his own. The reason Hidari can't heal on his own can be explained with what we saw back in the War Arc. During the War Arc, the Ten Tails was able to split off dozens of pieces of itself and have those pieces attack for it. These pieces didn't really have the healing ability that the Ten Tails itself had, and we see them just lifeless on the ground, just not able to heal themselves. This is similar to the Claw Grimes, since the Claw Grimes are just pieces of the Ten Tails merged with Cold's claw marks, and we also see that they can't heal and they die too. Since Hidari would just be one of these Claw Grimes with Sasuke's chakra in it, that wouldn't necessarily give him the ability to heal himself, so Hidari needing to travel back to the other dimension to heal makes sense. But since Jura implies that he doesn't have to do that, then that would then imply that Jura is somehow different than Hidari and the others. The only difference that would make sense and actually explain everything is Jura being the Ten Tails itself. We've seen less powerful Biju be able to completely regenerate lost limbs, so if Jura is the Ten Tails, then him being able to heal at Himawari's level would just be the natural explanation of how the story works. It would also explain how Jura seems to be much more knowledgeable than the other Shinju. The other Shinju seems to be kinda confused on why they're there and what their feelings are and what they mean, but Jura had it figured out from the start, and now, in the latest chapter, we're introduced to these thorn soul bulbs, and Jura seems to know about them too. So he just always seems to be a few steps ahead, and if he is the Ten Tails, then that would just explain how he knows so much, and why his abilities are better than the others. Jura being the Ten Tails would also explain his fighting style. We see that he primarily uses Biju bombs, and these Biju bombs can be created through his eyes alone. He will also just straight up box with you, which is something that the Ten Tails back in the original manga did too. When we look at Hidari, he uses the Chidori, which is Sasuke's most notable and used jutsu. So if the Shinju used attacks that the being they created with used, then Jura using the Biju bombs would just point to him being the Ten Tails even more. The abilities that Jura have showed so far, I believe, are symbolized on his back. The symbol on Jura's back looks very similar to the symbol that 6 Paths Power users have, and I think the symbol represents Jura having an advanced form of 6 Paths Power. It's stated that having the power of the Ten Tails is the same as having the power of the Sage of 6 Paths, and all the powers that Jura has showed so far seem to be advanced forms of the abilities that we saw in the past. Hopefully as the story goes on, we will get to see more of Jura's abilities in use. So yeah, that's about it for the video. Jura definitely seems to be different compared to the other Shinju, and him being the Ten Tails itself is just a good explanation for everything, and honestly makes the story seem a lot cooler, at least in my opinion. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like it and subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching.